Don't start, Jenna snapped, her phone glowing in her palm like it was more important than me. I can't cut him off. He needs me right now. We were standing in my kitchen, the one-room apartment I'd worked overtime to afford, and she said it like I was the unreasonable one, like I was some jealous stranger who didn't understand being a good person. My chest tightened so fast I had to swallow hard just to keep my voice steady. He's been needing you every day for 3 months, Jenna's eyes flashed. Because he's going through a tough time. Not everyone is lucky like you, Mason. Lucky. That word hit me like a slap. I felt my cheeks warm, my hands go cold. Lucky, even though I'd been juggling 2 jobs, skipping weekends, fixing my own car with duct tape and hope. Lucky, even though I'd been the one paying for dinners while she got back on her feet. She kept tapping her screen. He's texting again, see? He's upset. I forced a small nod, the kind you give when you don't want to explode. My breath came out shaky. Okay, Jenna paused like she'd won. Okay? Yeah, I said, and my voice surprised even me. Calm, flat. You're right, you shouldn't cut him off. Her shoulders relaxed. Thank you, I knew you'd understand. I stared at her for a second, letting that sentence hang in the air. Understand. Like I hadn't been trying to understand since the first time she said his name with softness she never used for me. I reached for the closet where her weekend bag lived. Half her stuff had been in my place since she started staying over more. I grabbed it and set it on the counter. Jenna frowned. What are you doing? I'm helping, I said. She blinked, confused, and I could tell she expected a lecture, a fight, tears. I didn't give her any of that. I walked into the bedroom and opened the dresser drawer where she kept her extra clothes. I folded them slowly, one by one, like I was packing a suitcase for a trip she'd already decided to take. My history with Jenna wasn't some dramatic movie romance. It was small-town normal. We met at a friend's cookout outside Columbus, Ohio. She laughed at my corny jokes. She held my hand first. For a while, I thought I'd finally found someone who didn't treat me like a backup plan. Because my family, especially my older sister Tessa, had made it clear I was the safe one, the boring one, the guy you bring to Christmas until the exciting option shows up. My mom loved me, but she always said it with worry in her eyes, like she was bracing for me to get disappointed again. I learned early to be the steady one, the quiet one, the one who takes the hit and keeps smiling. Jenna knew all of that. She'd even promised early on that she'd never make me feel small. Now she was leaning against my wall, watching me pack like I was a customer service rep handling a return. You're being weird, she said, trying to laugh. Are you seriously? I'm not mad, I said. I'm done pretending I'm fine. Her mouth opened, then closed. Her confidence wobbled just a little. I zipped the bag and picked up her jacket from the chair. Where is he? Jenna's eyes narrowed. Why? So you can support him, I said, and my smile felt like cardboard. Right now. She hesitated, then gave me an address like she was doing me a favor. 20 minutes later, we were parked in front of a neat little house with trimmed bushes and a small porch light on, even though the sun was still up. Jenna stared at it like the place was sacred. You're not coming in, she said. I'm not, I answered, stepping out and pulling her bag from the trunk. Jenna followed, heels clicking on the driveway. Mason, this is dramatic. I carried the bag to the front walk and set it down gently, like I was placing something fragile. She scoffed. You're embarrassing me. I took one slow breath. No, Jenna, you embarrassed me. Over and over. I just stopped helping you hide it." Then I turned and walked back to my car. Behind me, Jenna huffed and marched up the porch steps. She knocked, confident, like she belonged. The door opened, and Jenna's face drained of color so fast it looked like someone pulled the plug on her. Because the woman standing there wasn't a friend. She was holding a toddler on her hip, wearing an apron and staring at Jenna like she'd seen a ghost. And the woman said, very calmly, "Can I help you?" Jenna's phone slipped in her hand. My stomach dropped. Then Jenna spun around, eyes wild, and started calling my name like the world was ending. Jenna ran down the steps like her legs forgot how to work properly. Her hands were shaking so hard she nearly dropped her phone. "Mason!" she hissed, voice cracking. "Wait, wait!" I stayed by my driver's door, keys in hand, and watched her like I was watching a storm from behind glass. My heart was pounding, but my face stayed still. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of seeing me fall apart. "What?" I said quietly. "Did you think you'd find?" Jenna's eyes flicked to the porch. The woman stood there, calm as a judge, one hand on the doorframe, the other steadying the little kid on her hip. The child stared at us like we were a weird TV show. Jenna swallowed hard. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I swear I didn't know." I nodded slowly. "You didn't know he was married?" "He told me he was separated," she rushed out. "He said they were done. He said she was moving out." The woman on the porch didn't yell. She didn't make a scene. She just called out, "Derek isn't home." Jenna flinched at the name like it burned her. Derek. The same Derek she couldn't block because he needed support. The woman continued, voice steady, "But if you're here to drop something off, you can leave it on the mat." Jenna's breath came in thin, panicky bursts. "Please don't," she begged me under her breath. "Don't leave me here." I felt my throat tighten, not because I wanted to comfort her, because I couldn't believe the nerve. After months of dismissing my feelings, now she wanted me to protect her from the consequences of her own choices. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister Tessa. "Dinner at Mom's. Don't be late." I stared at the message and almost laughed. My family could schedule me like I was a delivery driver, but the second I needed someone to take me seriously, I was overthinking. Jenna grabbed my arm. Her grip was desperate, nails pressing into my skin. "Mason, say something. Please." I gently pulled my arm away. "I already did. I said okay." Her face crumpled. "That's not fair." I exhaled, slow. "It's exactly fair." On the porch, the woman stepped down one stair, not toward Jenna like a threat, more like someone stepping into the sunlight to be seen clearly. "I'm Marissa," she said. "What's your name?" Jenna's lips trembled. "Jenna?" Marissa nodded once, like she was filing it away. "How long?" Jenna looked at me, then looked down. Her cheeks flushed hot. I don't know. A couple months." Marissa didn't gasp. She didn't cry. She just shifted the child's weight and said, "He told you what he tells everyone." Jenna's eyes widened. "Everyone?" Marissa's mouth tightened, but her tone stayed calm. "You're not the first person I've opened this door to." Something inside me snapped, not into anger, but into clarity, like the last thread of denial finally broke. I saw Jenna for what she'd been doing, living in a fantasy where she was the hero, where Derek was the damaged guy she could fix, and I was the patient boyfriend who would wait quietly in the background. Marissa looked at me then, really looked at me, like she could see the exhaustion behind my calm. "Are you her partner?" I nodded. My jaw felt tight. "I was." Jenna's head jerked up. "Mason?" "I was," I repeated, and my voice didn't shake. Not anymore. Jenna's eyes filled. You can't just... Yes, I can, I said, because I'm tired of being treated like an option. Marissa exhaled through her nose, like she'd heard that sentence in her own head 1,000 times. Derek has a talent, she said quietly, for making people feel responsible for him. Jenna wiped at her face. He told me he was depressed. He told me he needed someone. Marissa's gaze didn't soften. He needs accountability, not attention. Then she did something that surprised me. She reached into her apron pocket and pulled out a folded envelope. Since you're here, she said, you might as well take this. Jenna stared at the envelope like it was a grenade. What is that? Marissa looked at me again. It's not for her, it's for you. My stomach dipped. For me? Marissa nodded. Derek applied for a job at your company. I blinked, confused. My company? Jenna's head snapped toward me. What? Marissa's eyes narrowed just slightly, like she was testing whether I was real. He put you down as an emergency contact, and he listed your address. I figured if he's using your life, you deserve to know. My hands went cold around my keys, because Jenna didn't even know the truth about my boring life. And suddenly, I realized, tonight wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the part where the table finally turned. Jenna stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Your company? She repeated, voice thin. I could feel my pulse in my throat, but I kept my posture relaxed. I didn't bring it up because it didn't matter, I said. Or at least, I thought it shouldn't. For the last year, I'd been building something quietly, an HVAC supply business that started as me buying parts in bulk and delivering them to small contractors who were sick of overpriced chains. It wasn't glamorous. No billboards, no flashy office, just steady growth, long hours, and a tiny warehouse I rented on the edge of town. It was the kind of work nobody claps for, until it pays off. Jenna had called me lucky. She'd never asked how many nights I ate cereal for dinner because I was reinvesting every dollar. She never asked why I kept spreadsheets open at 2 a.m. She just assumed my stability fell out of the sky. Marissa held the envelope out again. You should read it. I took it. My fingers were steady, even though my stomach felt like it was flipping. Jenna leaned in like she had a right to see. What does it say? I stepped slightly away from her, not aggressively, just enough to draw a line. It says Derek tried to get hired by me, I answered, and it says he used my name and address like they belong to him. Jenna's eyes darted to the porch, then back to me. Mason, I didn't know any of this. I nodded, slow. That's the point. Her mouth opened, then closed, and I saw it, her mind scrambling. Not just guilt, fear, because suddenly she wasn't the one holding the power in the conversation. Marissa's voice stayed even. He's been telling people he's starting fresh, that he's turning his life around. Meanwhile, he's still lying, still using others. Jenna wiped her face again, mascara smudging just enough to look real and messy. I thought I was helping. Marissa's eyes softened just a fraction, not with sympathy, but with a tired understanding. So did I, for years. The little kid rested their head on Marissa's shoulder, sleepy and unaware, and that simple, innocent weight made the whole moment feel heavier. This wasn't a drama for Marissa. It was her life. I cleared my throat. Marissa, I'm sorry. She nodded once. Me too. Jenna's voice cracked. What do I do? I looked at her, really looked. The trembling hands, the forced breathing, the panic now that her fantasy had a face and a front porch and a toddler. You do what you should have done the first time I told you I was uncomfortable, I said quietly. You stop. Jenna flinched. I didn't mean to hurt you. My chest tightened again, but this time it wasn't humiliation. It was relief, like I'd been holding my breath for months and finally let it out. I know, I said, but you did. She reached for me, then stopped herself. Can we talk tomorrow? Please, I'll fix it. I shook my head, slow and firm. You can fix your choices. You can't fix what you showed me. Jenna's eyes brimmed. So that's it? I opened my car door. That's it. She made a small, broken sound. Mason, I didn't think you'd actually leave. I paused with my hand on the steering wheel and looked back at her. That's what hurts the most, I said. You didn't think I had enough self-respect to walk away. On the porch, Marissa gave me a small nod. Quiet respect. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. I nodded back. Then I took out my phone and typed a message to my office manager. If a guy named Derek Holt applies, decline. Also, flag any form with my personal info. Legal, calm, clean. Jenna watched me text like it was a weapon she never realized I had. Boundaries. As I started the car, she whispered, I'm sorry. I believed she meant it, and that was exactly why I didn't turn back. Because apologies don't rewrite patterns. They don't replace respect. And they don't heal the part of you that spent too long begging to be valued. I drove away with my hand steady on the wheel, my breathing finally even, and one quiet truth settling into my chest like a warm light. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't loud. It's choosing yourself and letting life teach the lesson for you.